Janice Fisher, Manasquan, New Jersey. I coordinate the Puppy Mill Awareness Campaign for Friends of Animals United, New Jersey. I may not be here July 18th, so I wanted to make sure that I could come tonight. And as an advocate, I just wanted to let you know I worked on local, county, and statewide legislation for pet stores, and I work with countless customers who become victims of unscrupulous pet stores. These stores have taken advantage of customers in many ways, including selling overpriced and irresponsibly bred puppies. And they've used predatory sales tactics like the subprime pet lease, which I know a few of the council members have, we've already discussed. These subprime pet leases are used, and they're used to enhance sales, and they are usually targeting those with marginal credit. And if the idea of renting a puppy isn't troubling enough, consider that by the end of a 2-year lease, customers will have paid double the purchase price, and if they default on payment, their puppy can be repossessed. Just as an illustration, Bark Avenue has used this lease up until April of 2018. They advertised this lease on their website underneath the photos of puppies that they offer for sale, despite the fact that these leases have been banned in 3 states, and New Jersey has just introduced a ban. So I wonder how many of your constituents are walking around saddled with having paid double the cost of a purchase, the purchase price of a puppy. Just as an overview, for many years, pet stores have refused to tell their customers where their puppies come from. In fact, in 2015, transparency had to be legislated. Legislation that was strongly opposed by the pet store industry. And even after the law took effect, 26 out of 29 pet stores were fined by the Division of Consumer Affairs for failure to comply with the law. And I know you know that Bark Avenue was fined $10,000 for 50 consumer fraud violations. It was the 3rd highest fine assessed by the state. Bark Avenue told the Two River Times that his violations were merely clerical errors. But we've reviewed the state's investigative report, and at the time of inspection, he had not provided one USDA inspection report for any of the puppies in the store. I can assure you that that's not a clerical error, and as the state's Attorney General said, it's a willful attempt to withhold vital information from his consumers so they can't make an educated purchase. He may say that he didn't know about the law, but we absolutely gave him a copy 2 weeks after it was enacted. He was aware of it. He's part of the association, the Pet Industry Joint Advisory Council, and we also protested in front of his store because he wasn't complying, and we wanted his customers to know their rights. Despite entering into a consent order with the state that he would not he wouldn't, what am I going to say, engage in any future deceptive business practices, he continues to violate the Pet Purchase Protection Act. He doesn't provide any breeder information for the puppies he offers for sale on his website. The pet store industry always likes to say that no local ordinance is necessary because New Jersey has the most stringent pet store laws in the nation, but what they won't tell you is that the state has failed to enforce the most important aspect of that law, and that is regulating where pet store puppies come from. My group and the Humane Society of the United States researched the breeders for every New Jersey pet store, and we found that these pet stores were buying from breeders that were cited by the USDA for Animal Welfare Act violations. Violations that are prohibited in New Jersey, and violations that would make their customers cringe if they knew the truth. And those pet stores that claimed to be the best of the best were often the worst offenders. As an illustration, Bark Avenue's website states that his breeders, in order to make the grade, have to have a 100% flawless USDA record. It's not true. He also told the Monmouth Journal that he only sources puppies from 5-star breeders. And so for the record, I definitely want to go on record to share some of the violations that were noted by USDA inspectors for his 5-star breeders. Dogs were found to have dental disease, raw red lesions between their toes, no doubt from living on wire flooring throughout their lives. A Missouri breeder was housing animals in shelters with excessive feces, food waste, dirt, grime, flies, and maggots. A Kansas breeder's water receptacles contained green color water with slime and moss. Dogs were housed in outdoor temperatures without adequate bedding, in temperatures that dipped to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And an Iowa breeder was euthanizing dogs by gunshot at close range to the brain. Are these all of his breeders? No. It would be unfair of me to say that he has not bought from any breeders that are, there are some breeders that are compliant. But in my view, if you're dealing with live animals, especially puppies, you need to know what these breeder report says. If we kept our pets in these conditions, we would be charged in New Jersey with animal cruelty. Yet we all turn a blind eye to these deserving companion animals. They're considered to be nothing more than an agricultural commodity to the industry. They're factory farmed their entire lives so that their offspring can be sold to pet stores throughout the country, and that includes Red Bank, New Jersey. And unfortunately, even if the state were...
We're approaching 5 minutes,
sure.
So.
Unfortunately, even if the state were inclined, they can no longer investigate, they can no longer enforce the law because we don't have the USDA records. So we're back to no transparency with no ability for local authorities or the state or consumers to research or regulate. So I'm hoping that Red Bank will do the right thing. There are several stores that are operating humanely. These towns have adopted ordinances. They're successful, and I hope that Red Bank will follow suit. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Anybody else?
Hi, Nancy Jenkins, Marlboro, New Jersey. I'm sure you're a little tired of hearing this from some of us, and we're kind of tired of being here
Samantha,
too.
could you please hold the microphone up?
Better?
That's it.
This is a very difficult conversation for us to have, me especially. I mentioned to you, I sent you all a letter after the last meeting. One of you were kind enough to respond. About 2 weeks ago, we lost another puppy mill survivor. Her name was Candy. I want her name to be heard. She was a throwaway after they were done with her. She could no longer breathe. Her body was broken. She got 11 and a half months with us. 11 and a half months of fresh air with no urine and feces burdening it. 11 and a half months of grass under her feet. 11 and a half months of a warm bed, a cold bath, and a family that loved her. If you believe for a minute that these dogs in these puppy stores are coming from legitimate breeders, they're not. Every single one of you look like intelligent people, and many of you look like very kind people, okay? Common sense would dictate, if you have a storefront that you're gonna rent for $4,000, are you gonna rent it to me for a couple hundred just because I'm nice? You're not, okay? A legitimate breeder is going to get $1,500 to $2,500 for a dog. They are not going to take that dog that they invested in, that puppy, the money that they invested in the parents, and hand it off to these puppy stores for a couple $100 so that they can make $1,500 to $2,500. This reality is real, and we live it every day. And if you could see the horrific conditions that these dogs come from, you would understand. It does not matter how clean their store is. What matters is the blood money that's running it. And if you keep it alive, then you're supporting that blood money. I watched, this was a community, man. I mean, I watched those people come up to Celestial Lodge. Holy cow, that is amazing. That's what you would want to be known for. 135 years, they belong here, okay? And I think that that is an unbelievable testament to community, okay? But a puppy store is not, and what's behind it is not. And you listen to all the people who were here at the last meeting. Gary mentioned how his pockets were lined. He's Fergalicious. She's thriving. Of course she is. She's thriving on the backs of these innocent animals, and they are dying, okay? Candy's life was stripped from her. She had no life but the 11 and a half months we gave her, and it is not right. This is about animal cruelty. This is not about business. And for all the businesses that Gary reached out to who are supporting him, okay, They stand as much to lose. I wouldn't want to be in your position. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You've got somebody threatening to sue you, and you've got all the animal advocates who are saying, we're not coming here anymore. So I understand the position you're in. But at the end of the day, this is not what you want. This is not what you want to support, and I encourage all of you to just do the right thing.
Thank you.